I am 13 years old. I am in 8th grade.
Tina was always a very active baby, and after she was born, she hit the ground running.
She's a pretty good kid. She draws.
So what I'm drawing is kind of like an angel fairy, shading it to show that she's off the ground.
She's always drawing fantastic adventures that she imagines.
If I were a comic book hero, I would have the power to fly.
She likes exercising and running and jumping.
When I grow up, I'm hoping to study video game designing and to get my dream job, which is to be a video game designer.
My husband was ill. He had cancer of the liver, and he had nurses visiting us at home. But what happened was, in the apartment that we lived in, the building was sold. And after that, we received a notice that our unit was an illegal construction. We went to court and we tried to fight it.
And then we lost the house and we just had to leave.
Our income couldn't cover the way that the rent raises were going.
Luckily, when we lost our house, we had a van, so I got to sleep in the back.
It was wintertime. It was Christmas.
Bought Tina a sleeping bag to make sure she stayed warm.
I would wake up in the car and I could see my breath.
Every time someone walked by, I would just wake up all of a sudden. It was just scary.
And I would get back there with her and I would cuddle with her.
When I went to school the next day, I would just be extremely tired.
And her grades started to suffer.
People did judge on how I looked and how I smelled. That's when I actually started to be made fun of because I had nowhere to wash my face, and that's when I started to get acne and everyone's like, pimple face.
She didn't cry or complain, but she wasn't the same.
What really bugged me when we were homeless and living in the car is I would do drawings, but I wasn't able to hang them up.
She just wasn't happy. She didn't have that twinkle in her eye. That kind of all washes away when you're homeless.
A lot of people want to believe, well, somebody's homeless and they're building housing right here, just put them in the housing. No, it takes a while. Recovery from those conditions is not linear. And so you need all of these wraparound services.
All three of us went to LA Family Housing and they said, it'll be okay. Basically, they took us in their hands.
LA Family Housing is one of those agencies that does it all. The wraparound services that takes on a client and just figures out what they need to make that whole journey from on the street to on their own.
They did keep their promise. We did get a house.
Tina was so over the moon. I remember she was spinning around.
Jumping up and down.
My walls in one day were just covered in all of my artwork.
We could lock the door. We felt safe.
But I didn't have to use a supermarket bathroom anymore.
I don't have to worry about, am I going to have enough money to pay the gas bill? I have enough breathing room with the way that they've structured my payment schedule on my rent.
And so everything went back to normal.
And it was that helping hand that made it possible to transition from going nowhere to going home.
All it takes to be a convert is to see one kid transformed.
I watched my daughter fly.
Tina's doing really good in school.
Knowing that I'm actually able to do homework actually makes me feel happy.
So now I have that key in my hand and I open my door and I know that there's nothing stopping my daughter.
Possibility re-enters the lives of children and their families.
She's happy again. She has that spark, that twinkle in her eye.
That's one of the tragedies of having 50,000 people living on the streets of Los Angeles. It's not as if we don't know how to reverse these conditions. We do. We just don't have enough LA Family Housings.
I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart because this is my family that I'm talking about.
God bless you all, and thank you very much.
I'm just happy. I have a key to my dreams.